Hello Classic Crew, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be talking about 5 ways to change your negative outlook on pregnancy. Before we get into today's video, I would love if you would consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell. And if you're not already subscribed to my Substack newsletter, where you'll get access to a ton of exclusive content and not available anywhere else, head over to classicallyabby.substack.com. Now, if you're new to my channel, here we talk about classic living and traditional values, and I am 34 weeks pregnant at the time that I am recording this video. So this baby is going to be born soon. And I have been loving being pregnant and loving this pregnancy. But I had a miscarriage in 2021, and it really changed my perspective on pregnancy. And it made my perspective on pregnancy just so much more positive. I really wanted to share with you guys 5 ways that you can kind of flip a negative outlook and perspective on pregnancy into something really, really positive. Because as somebody who went through a miscarriage, I have valued every moment of this pregnancy that I get to grow this healthy little baby boy. And it means so much to me to be able to be pregnant and to carry this boy to term. So I also want to say, this doesn't mean that you can't ever feel uncomfortable or you can't ever feel upset about how pregnancy is changing your body or anything like that. It is uncomfortable sometimes, and it's not always fun. But I think that there is something to be said for sitting down and really trying to have a more positive outlook. So I also have had a really nice pregnancy in a lot of ways, and I know there are some women who suffer horribly. So this isn't to make anybody who has had a hard pregnancy feel bad for not loving being pregnant. It's just to say pregnancy can be difficult, but we can also, at the same time that we recognize that it's hard, we can also recognize that it is worth it. So now that I've said that, let's get into today's video. In the first trimester of pregnancy, many women experience pretty intense morning sickness. I had not great morning sickness. I felt sick pretty much the entire time. I didn't ever vomit, but I did not feel well. And so the first way you can change your negative outlook is, instead of saying, I feel so sick, I hate this, you can say, my baby is working so hard. So that was what I did in the first trimester. Every time I felt so sick and I couldn't get anything done, instead of saying, this is so frustrating, I hate this, I would say, my baby is working so hard to grow. And I actually loved being sick in the first trimester because I had had a miscarriage earlier that year. When I had had that miscarriage, I'd stopped feeling sick a little too early. And so as I kept feeling sick, I was like, go baby, go. Baby's doing good. I might not be feeling that great, but baby is growing. And it really made the being sick part of the first trimester, it made me happy about it. It made me grateful. I was like, yeah, stay sick. Let me keep lying on this couch because it means that baby is growing strong. So every time you feel really sick, instead of going to this place of like, this is the worst, which it's not fun, maybe give yourself an opportunity to think, wow, my baby is really growing, and that must mean he's healthy. So that was a really big change in my perspective from the first time that I was pregnant to the second time, because when I was pregnant the second time, I was grateful for every moment I felt sick. The second way to change your negative outlook is, if you are feeling judgmental or doubtful of your body's changes, think, my body is doing exactly what it needs to grow this beautiful life. I think it can be difficult for us as women to see our bodies change from something that we sort of view from like an attractiveness perspective to something that is very utilitarian. We're growing another person. So instead of looking like hot, we're going to look just different as our baby grows. Now, it's not to say that you can't be beautiful and attractive when you're pregnant. I think that you absolutely can, but it is a different way of viewing your body. And I think some women find that change beautiful and love it. I'm somebody who looked in the mirror and would see my bump growing, and I was like, this is the coolest thing. I feel beautiful. But there are some women who really struggle with that. And so I think that the way to embrace your changing body is to thank God that your body is doing what it needs to do to grow the baby inside of you. As your body is changing, it's changing for the best reason possible. It's not like you are gaining weight without meaning to or trying to, and you just can't stop. Your body is changing because it's growing another person, and it's supposed to do that. And that means everything is working right and correctly. So as you are changing, every time you look in the mirror, if you start to feel just a little bit insecure, remember that it's a sign that your body is doing what it needs to do, and that you are able to do this is a beautiful blessing from God. I think that really puts things into perspective. Number 3 is when you think, I'm so tired all the time and I can't get anything done, instead think, this is a lesson in slow living. I'm not in control, God is. I have talked about on my channel how tiring the third trimester is. Once you get into the third trimester, you're just really tired. And it's not even like, oh, I feel sick when I do things. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I need to lie down for 2 hours. I don't know why. I just need to lie down. And of course, we know why. It's that you're growing another person and he's getting real big. But it's hard to kind of wrap your head around. It makes you feel useless. But the thing is that slow living, which I did a video on and I will link in the description box, is a beautiful way of understanding life and saying, you know, I don't need to get everything done today because it will get done tomorrow. And I need to put my trust in God that this is sort of how things need to go down right now. And he's in control and I'm not. Because it can make you feel so awful to constantly be feeling like I should have gotten more done today than I did, instead of saying, I'm going to give myself 2 projects to accomplish today, and that's it. And if I can do those 2 projects, that is enough. Anything I don't get done today, I can do tomorrow. Trying to just embrace slow living a little bit more can give you just a sense of peace. And I think that that's really lovely and really important. So instead of blaming yourself and feeling like a failure that you're tired, instead, take that time to embrace slow living. And like I mentioned in that other video, it's going to be useful when you have a baby too, because you're not going to get anything done with a newborn when you're barely sleeping. So number 4 is when you get into that third trimester, everything can hurt and you're just feeling uncomfortable all the time. So how do you flip that on its head? How do you take that negative talk and make it positive? You thank God and your body for producing the hormones that it needs in order for you to grow this child and to have a healthy labor. So one of the hormones that you get during pregnancy is called relaxin, and it relaxes all the muscles in your body, the ligaments in your body, so that things can stretch out more, so that when you're in labor, things can separate more. And without relaxin, those muscles would not be able to do what they need to do in order to have that baby, labor that baby, and hold that baby when he's born. So even though things are uncomfortable, it's all for a good reason. I think that is like the overall, overarching positive outlook, is that I am not feeling my best, but it's for the best reason possible. And it means everything's working correctly, which is another really comforting thought. So instead of being so upset that you feel uncomfortable, which it is hard and it's not fun, then instead taking the time to think, my body is uncomfortable right now because it needs to be, so that when I go through labor and when I grow this child, he has room to grow and I can actually give birth to him. Last but not least, I want to talk about moodiness. So not every woman has really intense mood swings during pregnancy. I didn't have horrible mood swings, but I definitely have had my highs and lows, and it was worse actually in the second trimester than in the first trimester. So that was a hard one for me, because when you're dealing with moodiness, it's hard to talk yourself out of that because you're emotionally not in the best place. So how do you get yourself out of that? I think that the best way to look at your moodiness from a positive perspective is that you can learn to take some time for yourself and figure out how to deal with those mood swings now, so that when your baby's born, you can be a better mother. Moodiness is something that comes with lack of sleep. It's something that comes with being overwhelmed, being stressed. And when you have a child, all of those things are going to come into play. So having this opportunity to deal with moodiness before that baby's born, before you're parenting, and figure out how you're going to work on it, how you're going to make sure that you're not in a situation where you're lashing out or acting in a way you don't want to act. I think that that can be actually valuable for us, and it gives us an opportunity to really teach ourselves how we want to be, even in situations where our emotions are not where we'd like them to be. And it also can encourage us to take some time for ourselves and take care of ourselves. So moodiness is not fun. And like I said, it can be more difficult to have self-talk to get you out of a bad mood. But I think it's something we can invest our time and efforts into so that we can actually improve ourselves as women before that baby comes. So those are my 5 tips for changing a negative outlook about pregnancy into a positive one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I have absolutely loved being pregnant. I'm so sad that I'm not going to be pregnant after this baby comes. I can't wait to meet him. That is going to be so special. But I like being pregnant a lot. And I think that having these perspectives has made the whole experience really special for me. I haven't felt resentful of my pregnancy really at all. And I'm very, very grateful for that. But it also does take hard work, and it takes you making an effort to be positive. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're not subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button now and hit that notification bell. If you're not already following me on social media, it's at Classically Abby absolutely everywhere. And make sure to subscribe to my Substack newsletter where you will get access to a ton of exclusive content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!